Okay, so this post from Reddit has 12,300 upvotes. Net, of course, and deservedly, because of this image accompanying right here. This beautiful, beautiful image. And I just want to talk about that. Why? Why is it so captivating? Well, firstly, I believe that there's three parts to this image. The background, where the sunset is, a striking sunset, as most sunsets are, and in the middle, where Nat Peterson is facing to the left, or perhaps to the sunset. And he is holding a Krusty Krab soda in his fins. Although we don't know that in the context of this image, we can safely assume it is a soda. But clearly, he's unamused. And which brings us, I feel, to the most important part of this image, which is emphasized in the foremost ground. It's magnified, actually, and it takes up nearly half of the image. His expression, but yet it is faded. So it brings it this effect of sadness. But let's just sidetrack a bit from the main theme of this image and talk about the composition of just how magnificent the composition is. The warm colors of the background fit so perfectly with Nat Peterson, a yellow fish, and he doesn't look out of place despite being a fish out of water. He's neither blending in too much or being too out of place. So he seems to belong perfectly with this image. And his soda, too, is not out of place. So when we take a portrait of him and magnify it and make it take up half the image, it doesn't look too out of place. Okay. So now that we can appreciate the composition, we can see how or why this image is so captivating. The expression, as we have said, is not one of amusement. Maybe it's even one of sadness. But given the subtitles that usually accompanies this image, I would say it's more unamusement. An expression that we all wish we can give, which says, I've had enough of your shit. But surely the image of Nat alone would be sufficient in showing that. But the sunset in the background transforms the message. It transforms the expression to one of finality, because the sunset is tied to the time of rest, because it's the end of the day, the end of the work day, it's the end of the story, the end of the life. And once again, we can see that when Nat, with this expression, looking out into the sunset, we can see or we can feel the immensity of his unamusement. It becomes this worldly expression, this ethereal expression. And from his faded self in the foreground, we can see that yes, he is sick of your shit. But also he's saying, I'm sick of myself, of how I feel. His image is faded so that we have this feeling of insight of himself, that we are looking into his persona, and then we continue to feel, because of the grandiosity of the image, we can feel his self-hatred, that he can no longer feel what the other person in the subtitles usually feel, which is one of joy and naivety. So why? Because his expression has a connection to all of us. Perhaps you are not Nat Peterson right now, or perhaps you will become him. We can all relate, as they say, and perhaps in understanding Nat Peterson, we can strive to not become him. And that's why it's so captivating.